Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be ranking every single Euro 2024 away kit. Last time we ranked every single Euro 2024 home kit, and I asked in that video for you guys to hit 3,000 likes, and I said if we do hit that number, I will be releasing this video as well. If you want to check out the home kit video, I will leave a link to it in the description below. And unfortunately, looking at the comments, I have to make this announcement once again. Guys, this is just my opinion. Obviously, this is a very opinionated video. Everyone's got their own taste. So obviously, let me know yours in the comments below, but just keep in mind, no hate to any of these teams, obviously. Anyway, let's go in order with the groups once again, starting off with Germany. Their home kit I put all the way up at S tier. This one I definitely wasn't a fan of when they first released it, but it is growing on me a tad bit despite the screechy colors. It's not the worst kit in the world. Purple from the bottom going up to a pink shade with that triangle looking pattern going across. The home shirt definitely surpasses this one in my opinion, but still not the worst work by Adidas. Definitely something people are either gonna love or hate. At first, I was having this at the D tier, but now I'm gonna bump them up to C. Moving on to Hungary, it's the same exact template as their home kit, just with different colors, of course. It's mostly white with red and green detail across the shoulders and sides. Just like the home kit though, you got both Hungary logos on each side with the Adidas logo in the center. I share the same opinion as the home shirt. I put that one at C, and I'm putting this one at C as well. Moving on to Scotland, definitely like the dominant color they went with, but I'm not a huge fan of that purple selection for the details. The sides have some cool stripe theme, but other than that, it's mostly a bland kit, along with those minor purple details on the shoulders, of course, with the Adidas stripes, along with the logo as well, and the color of the badge. I'm definitely more of a fan of their home shirt. If they went for a different detail color, I would have liked this a lot more. I'm gonna put them at B-. And finally for Switzerland, I do like the subtle pattern that they went for across the kit, but I really do not like that collar. I think it's an awkward shape, along with the blue being unfinished towards the end. The collars as well, it really just seems like a boxy, awkward fit. Maybe if they went for a different shape on that collar, I would like this a lot more, but I'll put Switzerland at C. Not really a good start whatsoever, but let's move on to Group B. Starting off with Croatia. Their away shirt is far better than their home one. Home one getting rid of those checkers, making it much more minimal and also a lot more awkward. This one features more checkers and it's got a bit of a more diagonal look. Obviously mostly blue, something we've seen on their away kits in the past. A much more normal shaped collar compared to the home shirt. Blue cuffs as well, and you've got some red dash detail going on along the bottom with the checkers. I know most people agree with me on this one. The away shirt is just so much better, and I'm tempted to put them all the way up at S. I just don't think they went wrong here. Maybe the diagonal look for the checkers was a bit much, but I think it's still a very solid look overall. Moving on to Italy, as you can see, I've got their home shirt on. Personally, I like the home one a lot more. It has much more of the Azzurri identity, and also just all the minor details fit so much better than this. Similar to the Hungary kit, they placed that armpit and side details with some different colors. I like the idea, but I think it's just a bit of an awkward placement. The home shirt didn't have any of that, just the Adidas stripes on the shoulders with the Italian flag. And on the away one, you've got green on one side and red on the other. And obviously the rest of the kit is white. Not terrible by any means, just not as good as the home one, so I'm gonna be putting them at B. Moving on to Spain. Now I've noticed throughout these away kits, Adidas have gone for some more screechy colors on these. Some were kind of cool, but I think Spain's mix is just way too random and doesn't blend well together. Neon yellow base, red detail on the Adidas logo and badge, and light blue on the shoulders and sides as well. Really weird mix, and I don't like that shade of yellow either. Home one was much better. Sorry, Spain, I'm putting you all the way at the bottom. Also surprising to put Adidas that low compared to my other videos in the past. And then for Albania, like I mentioned in the home kit video, Macron is not releasing anything new, so it's gonna be the same exact shirt they wore during the Euro qualifiers. But personally, I would not be complaining, as I absolutely love this shirt. It's pretty much the same as their home one, just mostly white, but the difference is that minor red detail. You see it going along the black collar at the end, along with the sides and the cuffs. Also that very subtle detail under the chest with the Albanian eagle. It just complements it beautifully. I think it's a wonderful shirt. I will be putting Albania all the way up at A. Moving on to Group C, starting off with England. Now I was criticizing Nike quite a bit in the previous video, but this away kit, I actually really love the color scheme they went with. I like this shirt a lot more than their home one. Obviously, the home one has more of the identity of the team, but just what they did here and the simplicity of it, along with more detail along the sides. That side detail obviously pops out more, but I think it just works so well with the rest of the simplicity of this shirt. I will be putting England all the way up at A. Moving on to Serbia, it's got that same exact collar as Switzerland. No surprise here, Puma just seemed to be a bit lazy on this design. Unlike Switzerland, Switzerland though, they've gone for no detail across the kit, but did make the cuffs a bit more interesting. It's got a zigzag theme, but it's actually supposed to be a red mountain graphic, which is inspired by the distinctive landscape of Devilstown in southern Serbia. So the idea is very cool, but I really don't like the collar. I feel like I have to put Serbia in the same tier as Switzerland. Moving on to Slovenia, it's essentially the same exact shirt as their home one, same design, just with the blue color and a bit more black detail. The black detail being right under the collar. We've seen that theme so much from Nike in the World Cup, like I mentioned, and also on the sides right under the pit. It's a very disappointing launch as Nike definitely implemented some new designs for their kits for this tournament, but instead they went for their previous basic design for Slovenia in this year's edition. I obviously love the mountain they have in the middle though, and they've got some interesting detail of that line going down similar to the home shirt. But I like this kit less than the home one because you see more of that basic Nike template throughout because of that black detail. Therefore, I'm putting Slovenia one tier down compared to their home shirt. I had them at C, so I'll be putting this one at D. Moving on to Denmark, just like the home one, they've got that pixelated subtle pattern across the kit, kind of like Tetris. You mostly notice it when it's shined under some light. The main differences of this one, obviously the color, this one's white instead, and the collar is very much different. Not a huge fan of those red lines going across the collar, but it obviously screams a more classic theme to it. And then of course that same shoulder pattern they've always had. I for sure like the home one more, mainly due to the collar to be honest, but it's still not the worst shirt, so I'll put them at B. Moving on to Group D, starting off with France. I'm really not a fan of this one. The home one was decent, just was not a fan of the big badge, but the rest of the kit was looking fine. I really like the color they had along with the collar. This one, white, and then with really thin lines going across. To be fair, it's kind of cool that it changes from blue to red going across. Interesting idea, terrible execution in my opinion. I just simply would never want to be getting my hands on this kit, so I'm putting them all the way at the bottom. Moving on to Netherlands. I think there's just too much details going across this kit. It literally looks like the seat of a bus. This is just one of those examples where maybe simplicity would have gone better here. Mismatched colors as well. You've got the Nike swoosh being white while the badge is mostly turquoise. Orange collar and cuffs makes sense, but then the extra blue detail they added just doesn't match with the rest of the kit, I think. Sometimes I like the crazy designs, but this just does not blend well together in my opinion. I'm putting Netherlands at the bottom. Moving on to Austria, I really love the subtle pattern they added with that color. Apparently it's supposed to symbolize the wings of an eagle to show strength. Cuffs and collar are black. I'm not the biggest fan of that collar shape like I mentioned, but at least this collar is finished completely. I think I gotta put Austria at A. Moving on to Poland, the only similarity from this kit to their home one is the placement of the badge and the Nike swoosh in the center. It has a much more modern subtle design going across the shirt, which if you look closely is grading with shades of red, orange, even a bit of maroon, and you see the grading is different on one side of the sleeve compared to another. Still not the biggest fan of the Nike badge and logo placement, but I really love the subtle gradient design they added. So I think Poland deserved to be at the B tier. Moving on to Group E, starting off with Belgium. This has to be one of my favorite kits once again in this tournament. Probably actually my favorite, as it's literally supposed to match the outfit from the Tintin comics. They even got it spot on with the shorts as well. It has to be the most unique and interesting kit in the entire tournament. And overall, it's still a great design. I really love that light shade of blue, and of course the white collar and Adidas stripes complement it beautifully. I am without a doubt putting Belgium all the way at the top at S. Moving on to Romania, it's the same exact design as the home shirt, except this one is red instead of yellow. Still got the same exact color cuffs representing the flag. Cool touch, but other than that, I really hate that shape of the collar. Probably the worst shaped collar in the entire tournament, I'd say. And I think it's a bit disappointing. The only thing I like about it is the cuffs. I'm putting Romania all the way at the bottom, as I did for the home shirt video as well. Moving on to Slovakia, it's the same exact case as Slovenia if you remember what I said there. That old Nike template. In the away shirt though, it's pretty hard to notice that detail as it is completely white. Nike swoosh on one side and then a Slovakian badge on the other side, along with another one in the center. But I've said many times in this tier list, along with the previous one and even in the World Cup series, I really don't like this old Nike template. Slovakia for me go at the bottom, and this tier list is just not looking good for the away kids. And the last team in this group, Ukraine. Same design as the home shirt, just inverted colors. This one's mostly blue with some yellow detail on the collars and the cuffs. Honestly loving the color though. And then just like the home shirt as well, you've got the shape of the country subtly in the center. I personally like the home shirt a little bit more, but I will still put the away one at the B tier. Moving on to Portugal, one of the nicer designs in this video, I'd say. It's supposed to symbolize the Azuleo design, which is seen in a lot of ceramic tile work across the country. Cool and creative from Nike, got a simple black collar and cuffs, but I love this design too much to ignore. I'm putting them all the way up at the top at S as well. Moving on to Turkey next, it's very simple, but I still think it's much better than their home one. The placement of the swoosh and the icon are much better. They had a more creative design in the past in 2022, so I do think this is a downgrade, but still. If you watch my home kit video, you already know how I feel about that terrible collar. This one doesn't have it at all. It's a lot more simple and seems like a much better fit. Nothing creative whatsoever with it though, so I'll be putting them at C. Moving on to the Czech Republic. The collar and the cuffs are the exact same as the home shirt. Unfinished collar as well, which I've already mentioned I don't like. And the home one did have a cooler design, but it's supposed to be inspired by the successful Euro 2014. I'll put them at B. And finally, Georgia. Macron released an away and a third kit for them. The away one, I'm pretty sure, is the black one, while the third one is red. There's subtle dots going across, and there's also a subtle gray line, similar to the home one, except this one's much harder to see, which cuts off for the number of the player. I'll be putting Georgia at B. Well, there you have it, guys. That is my tier list for all the Euro 2024 away kits. As you can see, I definitely like the home kits overall a bit more. Too many here at the bottom, but yeah, this is just my opinion. Let me know yours. Do you like the away kits that we will be seeing at this tournament, or are most of them just a bit random, something off-putting with them? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Euro 2024 content. I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. Lá com nós.